Thank you, Ahmed. And Ali Raza. Now can I have Ali Daher to recite his salam with a loud salawat? Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم دعاء إمام الزمانة اللهم كل وليك الحجة بن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا وجليلا معينا حتى تسكنه أرزك وتمتعه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. صلوات.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
افسوس نبی زادیوں کا شام میں جانا سجاد سے پوچھو ارے افسوس نبی زادیوں کا شام میں جانا سجاد سے پوچھو سر ننگے وہ ارے سر ننگے وہ ماں بہنوں کا بازار میں جانا سجاد سے پوچھو چھپتی تھی نبی زادی نبی زادی کے پیچھے کس شرم و حیا سے ارے اور شمر کا ان بیبیوں کے نام بتانا سجاد سے پوچھو بیٹھے ہوئے دربار میں سب چھوٹے بڑے تھے ارے سادات کھڑے تھے سر تشت میں رکھا ہوا زینب کو دکھانا سجاد سے پوچھو ارے جب دختر شبیر نے زندان میں قضا کی آفت کی گھڑی تھی وہ ننھی سی ارے وہ ننھی سی میت بندھے हाथों से उठाना सज्जाद से पूछो अरे जालिम लबे सरवर पे छड़ी मार रहा था वो वक्त जब था अरे उस वक्त फूफी बहनों से अश्कों को छुपाना सज्जाद से पूछो अफसोस नबीजादियों का शाम में जाना सज्जाद से पूछो सरवत
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Thank you. Now Sibtan will read a speech.
Can I have a loud salawat, please?
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Today is the first night of Muharram, the start of a new Islamic year. We do not greet it with merrymaking, nor celebrate it by holding parties. Our hearts are filled with sadness and grief because we remember those martyrs who were killed in Karbala. For the next 12 days and nights, we hold Majlis al-Hussein to mourn the death of Imam Hussein, his family and companions. The word Majalis means seating, where people gather and sit. In Majalis of Muharram, we recall the events of the martyrdom of Imam Hussein, his family and companions, and the hardship of suffering of those in his family who survived the tragedy of Karbala. The first Majalis al-Hussein was started by his sister, Bibi Zainab, as soon as they were set free by Yazid. Since then, all the Imams and Shias have continued the Majalis al-Hussein regularly. So, why do we hold these Majalis? To thank Imam Hussein, his family and companions for the great sacrifice in Karbala, for saving us and Islam. We hold these Majalis because we love our Imam and feel sad to hear about his hardship and suffering in Karbala, and also to comfort and please Bibi Fatima, Imam Hussein's mother. Bibi Fatima comes to Majalis al-Hussein, though we cannot see her. She prays for us and our family's safety. She collects our tears when we cry for Imam Hussein and his family. On the Day of Judgment, she will return all those tears we have shed for her family. These tears will protect us from the fire of hell. I would like you to think about what I have just said. Examine your deeds and see if they are good enough for you to face Bibi Fatima on the Day of Judgment. If you don't pray your Wajib Salah regularly, how would you be able to face Bibi Fatima on the Day of Judgment? You have come to the Majalis al-Hussein because you are thankful for what Hussein did to save your religion. You cry and do martyrdom for Hussein because you love him. If you really love someone, then surely you want to please him. How can you please Hussein if you are not praying Salah regularly? Majalis al-Hussein will continue till the Day of Judgment. It is not because of us. We are the only means through which Allah salawatullah alayhi keeps Hussein's great sacrifice alive. Hussein died saving Allah's religion, and Allah has promised to keep alive Hussein's name and his great sacrifice till the Day of Judgment. Majalis al-Hussein, Matam al-Hussein. Enemies of Islam can never stop Majalis and Matam, even if they try thousands of times to do so. On the 1st of Muharram, Imam Hussein's caravan had just reached outside Karbala. They pitched their tents for the night. Hussein and his sister Zainab were standing talking outside Hussein's tent. Together they both sighted the moon of 1st Muharram. Tears flowed from Hussein's eyes. Zainab grew worried and asked her brother, "My dearest brother Hussein, why are there tears in your eyes?" "Zainab, my sister Zainab, please pray for me that I keep my promise to Allah. Pray, my sister, that I succeed in completing my mission to save Islam. Zainab, pray for me that I do not hesitate in giving up my life for Islam." Hussein was not crying because he was worried about dying. Hussein did not ask his sister to pray to Allah to save him, his life. All he was concerned about was saving us and Islam. Bibi Zainab's eyes were filled with tears when she heard what Hussein asked her to do. My beloved sister Zainab, don't cry. You will have to perform a greater duty after my death. Be brave and patient. Bibi Zainab went to her tent. Ali Akbar joined his father Hussein. My son, oh Ali Akbar, I saw a dream last night. I saw a group of people heading for a place where death was waiting for them. I saw them all killed one by one. Father, I know these people. Those people are us. But tell me, Father, are we on the right path? Yes, my son Akbar. Yes, we are on the right path. Then let us not worry. Father, if we are on the right path, then let us die happily. We should continue our journey and greet our death with a smile. I am proud of you, my son, O Akbar. Salawat.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Thank you. Now can Mujtaba Hussain read the second part of the speech with the loud salawat? Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Hello, Assalamu alaikum. Today I'm going to talk about the second night of Muharram. Salawat.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
On the second day of Muharram, Hussein's caravan reached Karbala. Thousands of Yazid's soldiers were already there, having arrived long before the Imam, waiting for him. The small tribe living in Karbala gathered around Hussein's caravan. Imam Hussein inquired about the price of the land in Karbala. He then bought the entire land for his tribe. Then he first spoke to the menfolk of the tribe. O menfolk of Karbala, we have not come here to fight. Yazid's soldiers will fight us and we will be killed. They will not bury our bodies, and our bodies will be left to the wild animals of the desert. I request a favor from you. Please bury our bodies. Imam Hussein then turned to the women of the tribe. Ladies of Karbala, your men, out of fear of Yazid's soldiers, might not bury our bodies. Ladies, when your men are working in the fields, please come out of your houses and bury our bodies. Somehow, Imam Hussein did not feel the men or the women could carry out this request. Sadly, he turned to the children who had gathered and spoke gently to them. Children, if your father or your mother are unable to bury us, I beg you to just throw a fistful of sand over our dead bodies while you are playing in the fields. That way, children, our bodies will slowly get buried. Then he turned to everyone who had gathered around him and he spoke again. My second request to you all is to look after the people who will come to visit our graves after our death. They will be my guests, so please look after them and feed them for 3 whole days. The Imam then ordered the tents to be pitched by the river. It was very hot that day in Karbala, and the supply of water was absolutely essential for survival. Abbas, commander of Hussein's army, with his men, started to pitch the tents by the river. The commanders of Yazid's army ordered their men to pull out Hussein's tents. They stopped Hussein's tents from being pitched by the river. Abbas, however, became very angry. He pulled out his sword and wanted to kill all of the enemies. Abbas, the lion son of Ali, was just like his father. He was very brave and strong. The enemies feared him. If he wanted the tents to be pitched by the river, then Yazid's men, even though in thousands, would not be able to stop him. Hussein saw what was happening and quickly intervened. He knew his brother's temper and strength. Abbas, my brother Abbas, put your sword back. We have not come here to fight. Later on, people will say that we started the battle for water. Abbas, my brother, calm down and put your sword back. Let us move away from here. We will pitch our tents elsewhere. Abbas considered his brother to be his master and always obeyed his commands. He put his sword back and ordered his men to pitch the tents away from the river. This was the 2nd of Muharram. As nights and days passed away, the scene in Karbala changed. Day by day, Yazid's army increased in number. Nearly 20,000 of Yazid's soldiers surrounded Hussein's tents. Why so many to fight no more than 72 of Hussein's army? Despite having so many men in Yazid's army, his commanders were still worried because the 72 men in Hussein's army were no ordinary men. They were brave, they were faithful, and they did not fear death. Yazid's soldiers knew this and therefore thought of a way to weaken Hussein's army physically. On the 7th Muharram, Yazid's commanders ordered their men to stop water from reaching Hussein's tents. There were many ladies and many children with Hussein, and they suffered a lot without water and food. For 3 days, one could hear children crying for water. Al-Atash, Al-Atash, water, water, thirst, thirst. Abbas could hear this. He could hear his beloved Sakina crying for water. Abbas loved Sakina dearly and always got her everything she wanted. Every time Abbas heard Sakina crying for water, he shook with grief. Abbas, poor Abbas, could not bear to hear Sakina crying. Al-Atash, Al-Atash echoed through the land of Karbala for 3 days and nights. Many little children died from thirst and hunger. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un.
Thank you, Mujtaba. And now I will read the last part of the speech. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. It was the 9th of Muharram and the 2nd night without water. It's very hot in Karbala and the children cannot sleep. But how can they? They are very thirsty and hungry. The sound of Atash, Atash, Atash breaks Hussein's heart. For what can they do? For what can Hussein do? He is patient. For the sake of Allah, he is bearing it all. More is to come. Hussein's patience and sacrifice will be tested further. On Ashura Day, Hussein sacrificed all his faithful friends, but remained patient. Orn and Muhammad were killed, yet Hussein remained patient. Qasim was torn to pieces, yet Hussein remained patient. Abbas's arms were severed, yet Hussein remained patient. How much can Hussein bear? How much more can he sacrifice? For the sake of Islam, Hussein, our Imam, sacrificed the most precious thing in his life, his teenage son, his 18-year-old son, Ali Akbar. Bibi Fatima will cry with us. Mawla Ali will join us. Hussein will pray with us. The day of Ashura unfolded on the land of Karbala. It was Fajr time. Hussein called his son Ali Akbar. My son Ali Akbar, go and give the adhan. Ali Akbar, I want to hear the voice of my grandfather. Ali Akbar, you sound so much like your great-grandfather, the Holy Prophet. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ali Akbar's adhan echoed through the land of Karbala. Ali Akbar's last adhan was no ordinary adhan. It was filled with emotion. Imam Hussein began to cry. He remembered his grandfather. Everyone prayed Fajr Salat. Soon after, the Battle of Karbala began. One by one, Hussein's companions went to the battlefield and were martyred. Orn and Muhammad went. They were martyred too. Qasim went, and he was torn to pieces. Ali Akbar and Abbas helped Hussein carry the bodies to the tent. Sakina was thirsty. Abbas went out to get water. Abbas did not come back. Hussein is alone with Ali Akbar, full of grief. So many dead in one day. How much can Hussein take? No more is to come. The greatest sacrifice in history is to come. Ali Akbar, the life of Hussein, the teenage son of Hussein. Ali Akbar came to his father and said, "Father, may I now have permission to go for jihad?" Allahu Akbar, imagine the scene. A teenage son has come to his old father for permission to die. How does a father allow his teenage son of 18 years to die? Poor Hussein, what does he do now? Hussein is helpless. His promise to Allah has been honored. My son Ali Akbar, you have my permission, but Akbar, go and ask permission from your mother. Go and ask permission from Zainab, your auntie who has brought you up. Go, son. Ali Akbar took permission from his mother, Layla. Ali Akbar then went to his auntie, Zainab. Auntie Zainab, tell me one thing. Whose life is more important, Ali Akbar's or Bibi Fatima's son, Imam Hussein's? My son Ali Akbar, I would sacrifice 1,000 lives to save Bibi Fatima's son, Imam Hussein. Then, auntie, do not stop me. Grant me permission. No one is left to save Hussein. Let me go, auntie, let me go. Bismillah, my son, go, my Ali Akbar. Ali Akbar mounted his horse. Hussein was crying. Layla was crying. Fi aman Allah, mother. Fi aman Allah, mother. Fi aman Allah, Auntie Kulthum. Fi aman Allah, Auntie Zainab. Ali Akbar rode to the battlefield. He heard footsteps following him. He stopped and looked back. What did he see? His father Hussein was following him, with his hands on his back. Hussein was running behind Ali Akbar. Father, where are you going? Please, father, I want to go back to the tent. My son Ali Akbar, I want to see you as long as I can. I will stop here, my son, but promise me you will keep on looking back every few steps. Ali Akbar, your old father wants to see you as long as he can. Ali Akbar continued. He looked back every few seconds. Hussein was there watching him. He reached the battlefield. Ali Akbar fought bravely. He killed many known warriors. Saad ordered his soldiers to kill Ali Akbar. While a few soldiers together attacked Ali Akbar, one crept up to him and thrust a spear into Ali Akbar's chest. The spear penetrated Akbar's chest. The handle broke. A sharp blade stuck into Ali Akbar's heart. Ali Akbar fell off his horse. He cried out, "O father, accept my last salam to you." Ali Akbar did not call his father to come see him. Hussein was alone and Ali Akbar did not want to bother his old father. Hussein rushed to the battlefield. My son, my Ali Akbar, where are you? Speak to your father, my son. Akbar, where are you? Hussein saw his son Ali Akbar. His son was lying on the sands of Karbala with both his hands on his chest. Ali Akbar was taking his last breaths. What shall Hussein do now? A father facing his teenage son dying. He placed Ali Akbar's head on his lap. My son Ali Akbar, why are you covering your chest? Is your chest hurting? Let me look at it. No, father, no, don't remove my hands from my chest. You will not be able to bear it, father. Hussein gently moved Ali Akbar's hand. What did Hussein see? What did a father see? A blade of the spear stuck in deep into Ali Akbar's chest. Ali Akbar was in a lot of pain. What shall Hussein do now? Hussein put both his hands on the blade and looked towards Najaf. He cried out loudly, "Ya Mushkil Kusha, help me, Baba. It was easy for you to pull the gates of Khaybar. It is difficult for me to pull out the blade from my son's chest. Help me, Baba." With a cry of Ya Ali, Hussein pulled the blade out. Blood gushed out of Ali Akbar's chest. Hussein was covered with his son Ali Akbar's blood. Ali Akbar took his last breath. What does Hussein do now? Own and Muhammad, help me carry your brother's body. Qasim, help me. Abbas, I need your help. Where are you, Abbas? Hussein was alone. How does he carry Ali Akbar's body? Hussein could not carry Ali Akbar's body. He put Ali Akbar's hand around his neck. Hussein carried his 18-year-old son's body with great difficulty. Ali Akbar's feet dangled, touching the sand of Karbala. As he reached the tent, he cried out, "Help me, Zainab! Take our Ali Akbar! Help me, help me take your son!" Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. We are from Allah, and to Him do we return. I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept this small contribution from us. I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept all our prayers. Can we all read Surah Fatiha once and 3 times Surah Tawheed and send it sawab to all our mahumeen? Matem Hussain. Can I invite Hussein Sultan to read a Latmiya with a loud salawat? Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Bani Hashim Abbas, shelter of Zainab Abbas. Ya Abbas, oh Ya Abbas, Ya Abbas, oh Ya Abbas, pride of Amirul Mu'mineen, lion of Ummul Baneen. Who can be brave as you, Mawla? Who can your loyalty surpass? Ya Abbas, oh Ya Abbas, Ya Abbas, oh Ya Abbas. Qamari Bani Hashim Abbas, shelter of Zainab Abbas. You are the Ghazi of Al-Qamar, the ultimate sultan of Wafa. You are the Qamari Bani Hashim, who can match your strength and class. Ya Abbas, oh Ya Abbas, Ya Abbas, oh Ya Abbas. Qamari Bani Hashim Abbas, shelter of Zainab Abbas. No scholar in history could fathom your mystery. Firm as iron, soft as snow, shari jari qalbi hassas. Ya Abbas, oh Ya Abbas, Ya Abbas, oh Ya Abbas. Qamari Bani Hashim Abbas, shelter of Zainab Abbas. One Abbasi Karbala is all of Ashqiya. وجاء أخي في إمام الزمان كجاء the shower of jinn والناس. يا عباس يا عباس يا عباس يا عباس. قمر بني هاشم عباس, shelter of Zainab Abbas. Allah, loud salawat. Allahumma
Muhammad.
Thank you. Now can Ali Sultan read another Latmiya with the loud salawat?
Allahumma salli ala
Muhammad
Muhammad.
wa ali Muhammad.
Jal farajahum.
With every beat, every breath, oh Allah, until my death. If I die, old or young, keep this kalima on my tongue. La ilaha illallah, Muhammad Rasulullah, Ali Waliyullah, Wasi Rasulullah. Said our Mawla unto Walid, cannot give bay'ah to Yazid. He is the lowest of the low. We where the angels come and go. La ilaha illallah, Muhammad Rasulullah, Ali Waliyullah, Wasi Rasulullah. O my helpers, O my kin, Leaving me will bring no sin. They said, Mawla, we are few, but we will live and die for you. La ilaha illallah, Muhammad Rasulullah, Ali Waliyullah, Fasir Rasulillah. When Mawla said, Oh my son, Akbar, your moment has come. Let your faith and courage show. Let these cowards heathens know. La ilaha illallah, Muhammad Rasulullah, Ali Waliyullah, Fasir Rasulillah. O my lions of Ja'far, O my Qasim and Asghar, if not for your martyrdom, this battle would not be won. La ilaha illallah, Muhammad Rasulullah, Ali Waliyullah, Wasi Rasulillah. Or will you come back, Abbas? There's no one crying by us in this eerie land unknown. Are you leaving us alone? La ilaha illallah, Muhammad Rasulullah, Ali Waliyullah, Wasi Rasulillah. See this dagger on my neck. This is my moment of death. Hear my Shia far away. Hear it to your Mawla say, La ilaha illallah, Muhammad Rasulullah, Ali Waliyullah, Say Rasulullah. With every beat, every breath, oh Allah, until my death. If I die, old or young, keep this kalima on my tongue. La ilaha illallah, Muhammad Rasulullah, Ali Waliyullah, Wasi Rasulillah. Last word, please.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. Thank you. Now can Sibtan read the ziyarat with the loud salawat. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليك يا نبي الله، السلام عليك يا رسول الله، السلام عليك يا جدك وعبي السلام عليك يا حجة الله، السلام عليك يا حبيب الله. السلام عليك يا نبي الله، السلام عليك يا رسول الله، السلام عليك يا حجة الله، السلام عليك يا باعث الوداع، السلام عليك يا حبيب الله، السلام عليك يا ابن رسول الله، السلام عليك يا ابن أمير المؤمنين وابن سيد الوسيين، السلام عليك يا ابن فاطمة الزهراء عليه السلام، السلام عليك يا جدك وأبيك ولا عميك وأخيك ولا شهداء معك في أرض كربلاء. السلام عليك يا غريب الغربة، السلام عليك يا معين الضعفاء والفقراء، السلام عليك يا مغيث الشاة والزوال في اليوم الجزاء، السلام عليك يا شمس الشموس، السلام عليك يا أنيس النفوس أيها المدفون بأرض توس، السلام عليك يا صاحب الأسر والزمان، الأمان 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 من فتنة الزمان، السلام عليك يا شريك القرآن، السلام عليك يا كام كفر وطغيان، أجل الله تعالى فرجك وسهل الله تعالى مخرجك وظهورك ورحمة الله وبركاته.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم كل وليك الحجة الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. Okay, thank you everyone for attending this Majlis of Imam Hussein alayhi salam.